Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to do an update on a few positions that I have, plus go over another interesting chart that I see. And then after that, of course, at the end of the video, I'm going to get into whether I made or lost any money trading today. So if you want to see, how I like to day trade and if I made or lost any money, make sure you stick around for that. But I'm going to start off with MULN Automotive, ticker symbol MULN. I actually still have some call options left in this one. I have the $1 call option that is expiring in 15 days, so still a little bit of time left on that one. But time is running out and it is of the essence. So got to make a decision on these sooner or later if I want to collect any decent premium. But you can see today's price action is making it a little bit easier to hold on to these longer. I've been waiting for it to break this little downtrend that it's having, but this has been a very light volume pullback. So I was optimistic we were going to eventually start to turn this thing around. You can see today's price action, and the trading day isn't even over yet, has been higher than all of the pullback days over the last week. So I'm pretty optimistic that this thing could start, its next leg up and potentially take out this old high of right around $4. Now, the area that I am looking at right here, let's actually go to the 15-minute chart. I had a trend line drawn on this, but now we've got the break through it, so I just took it off the chart. But the area that I am looking at right now, I was looking at that 50-period simple moving average, that blue line on the daily chart. I'll go back to that in a minute. But this is the area that I'm looking at right now. So if this area gets taken out to the downside, chances are it's going to continue to fade lower. As you can see, we're probably at, maybe this part in the uptrend. So this is the kind of price action you want to see after a sharp move up like that. If you don't get that, if you don't get that burst up out of that little triangle consolidation, kind of like what we got right here, it can be a fake out move, and then if it starts to roll over, you just want to take the trade that the odds favor is going to happen. And if we get a breakdown below this support area, chances are we're just going to continue to fade down. So I'll probably just end up getting what I can out of those last remaining call options and moving on to the next trade. But nonetheless, I really like this price action that we had today. It probably started right around 1 o'clock Eastern time, and it is holding the move up so far. So I'm pretty optimistic that we can eventually get past this area right here, right around 321. And if we do, we got a pretty strong possibility of taking out this high. So hopefully, especially since I have call options, that it does that, and it does that rather quickly, so I can really make the most that I can on those call options. All right, the next position that I want to go over is NILE Holdings, ticker symbol NILE. This one pulled back a little bit more today, and I added a little bit more to my position at 79 cents. Now, when I was looking at this one yesterday and contemplating whether I wanted to take my position, I kind of had the feeling that it was going to break down to these moving averages right here, that 8-period exponential moving average, which is the white one, or the purple one, which is the 21-period exponential moving average. I kind of like the way that this little cluster was sitting right here. I thought that's probably where I should have started my position. But I didn't want this thing to come down to the 50-period simple moving average, find support, and take off without me. So I dipped my toe in the water at 85.5 cents, and I added to it at 79 cents. Now I'm still keeping a tight stop on it below this this price point right here, below 69 cents. So if we do get a breakdown through this support level, chances are the move is probably over. I know that there's a lot of volume coming in, so it wouldn't surprise me if it broke down through the support level and then did turn right back around. But in my experience, odds favor, if it breaks down through this kind of level, chances are it just continues to fade down. So I can't put any more capital to risk if that does happen. Honestly, in a more optimal situation, I would like to have seen this peak being a little bit higher on this move up, but we did have a pretty strong resistance area right here, so it just couldn't get through it this time. But I do think that this chart pattern still is very constructive. We got this very low volume selling coming in after the decent move up, that was up on big volume. That shows you it's still under accumulation. After you get that big move up on some pretty nice volume, you want to see that pullback like these 2 days right here. be real low, and that's what you got. And then right after that, you had that nice little price appreciation once the buyers took control again. And this is what we are having again. So hopefully this is the bottom for this pullback. You know, it could pull back just a little bit further, but like I said, this thing breaks 69 and I'll probably just end up, you know, closing out the position and jumping on to the next trade. But with that being said, you know, I kind of like the way that this trade is setting up. Hopefully we can just kind of get that, you know, big green candle in the next day or two like we've had with MULN, and then we could potentially be off to the races with NILE holding, or BitNile holdings, I should say, as well. All right, well, the next one I want to get into is OCGN, ticker symbol OCGN. I haven't bought any shares of this one yet, but this one is high up on my watch list. I've traded OCGN several times in the past, and I believe I've made money every single time on this one. So when OCGN pops up on my scans, I get a little bit of a warm, fuzzy feeling just because it gives me good vibes from the previous trades. But this one was a high flyer last year and probably a little bit before that. But OCGN is a perfect example of why I love seeing these big volume spikes. Every time I see these volume spikes, I get excited because chances are there's some big price appreciation coming, especially when the stock has gone sideways. A lower price stock has gone sideways for months and months or years and years. Once you start seeing this accumulation happening, it's usually not too long when you get that big price appreciation. Sometimes it takes, you know, only a month or two. Sometimes it can take, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 months or more. But that's usually the beginning stages of the accumulation. Now, if we scroll into the current price action, you can see we got some volume coming in. I wish it was a little bit stronger, you know, a little bit bigger buying pressure coming in. But if you back out of this chart a little bit, you can see OCGN has been in a fade down pattern for a very long time. But what do we have right here? We have a big gap down, and price couldn't get any lower. So this has all the indication of an exhaustion gap. There's three different kind of gaps. There's breakaway gaps. That's when a stock breaks away to the upside and takes off. There is the continuation gaps, which usually happen in the middle of a move, whether it's up or down. And then there's the exhaustion gaps. They usually happen at the end of the trend. Now, one of the dead giveaways of that is once price gaps down, it can't go down any further over the next week. You know, it just kind of finds a little bit of a floor, has a ceiling, and then eventually starts to move up. Now, this is just telling us that potentially all the sellers have finally exhausted this stock and there's only buyers left. So we've had a nice little move up. Hasn't been even on crazy volume, so that's actually not a terrible sign after an exhaustion gap. If it doesn't take a lot of volume to push price up, that means, you know, all the sellers could be gone. But we've had that sharp move up. Now we're getting a little bit of a J-hook pattern right here. What I'd like to see is for the stock to break above this area right here. If we go to the 15-minute chart, we can see that resistance just a little bit better. I don't want to be in this stock until we get a break of this level right here at 371. I want this stock to prove that it has enough strength, you know, to make another leg up, and it has to get through this resistance area first. So I have a order in the market to stop limit buy once it breaks above 371. So if that happens, and it looks like it could happen for OCGN, this one could be a decent trade. But just going back to that daily chart, you can see that this bottoming formation looks like it's, you know, kind of been in motion for a couple of months at least, and you know, kind of looks like we're making that nice J-hook pattern that I like to trade. So a move above 371 is where I would want to be in this one. All right, so let's get into my trading activity for the day. But before I get started, please remember, I am not a financial advisor. Please make all of your own buying and selling decisions. I am just trying to show you my style of trading. If you can take something away from it, great. If not, that is great too. I would just say you never know how your trading is going to evolve, especially if you're just starting trading. When I first got into trading, this didn't interest me at all. Little did I know I would be doing this years and years later. I probably should have paid attention to some of those people that were talking about it, because you never know where your trading is going to take you. But this is part of my gap and go strategy. I look for stocks, usually lower price stocks that are gapping up. And what I like to do is wait for them to pull back, make a little bit of a rounded bottom, and then buy when they're breaking that rounded bottom to the upside, try to catch that next wave up. or which happened in the case with this trade, if a stock gaps up, starts to move sideways, doesn't pull back, I try to buy the breakout to the new high and just try to capture that momentum move for, a 5, 6, 7% move or so. Unfortunately, this one did not work out, but let's go to the minute chart and I will show you how this one kind of transpired. Go back to the beginning of the trading day. As you can see, this one gapped up, went up for about 2 minutes, and then just started to move sideways. So once it got a break above this high right here at 545, that's when I wanted to enter it. As you can see, that was the absolute worst place to enter it. Looked like it was going to start moving higher and start moving higher quickly, and it did, and then all of a sudden it turned around just as fast as it started to break out. So I got executed at $5.47, and I was stopped out at $4.91. This thing actually turned around so fast I couldn't even put my stop loss in fast enough, because it would have already been through it. I wanted to put it under 5, and within just a few seconds it was already under that level, so I put it just a little bit lower. I put it at 489, I think. The stock started to move up a little bit. It looked like it was actually maybe going to give me a chance, but I raised the stop loss up to 491, and that's where it stopped me out at, was 491. So it was actually a little bit bigger loss on a percentage basis than I would have liked. It was about an 11% loss. I usually don't like to risk any more than probably 5 or 6%, but this one just got away from me in a hurry. So this one was a fake out like I haven't seen in quite a long time. It was really strange because you got all this volume, no sellers coming in. Looks like it was going to break out because it turned around really fast and exploded, but it went up there and just grabbed my order and turned around. So unfortunately, this one did not work out, and I did have one other trade today. So let me reshape the chart here and go to it. You saw my video yesterday. I was talking about buying some SQQQ call options because I thought that the QQQs, let me actually jump over to the QQQs first just to show you. I thought the NASDAQ was going to have a little bit of a fake out move. Once it got above that 200, I thought it was probably going to roll over after that. Had a little bit of a downward movement today. I covered some of those call options that I bought. I bought them at 55 cents and I sold them at $1.06. Let's go to let's just go to the minute chart here. And gosh, I think it was probably right about here. I ended up getting rid of them. We can see that the market is actually turning around a little bit, but I sold half of them at $1.06, bought them at 55 cents. So I've got almost all of my money back in these ones. So if we get some continuation tomorrow, I'll be able to take a bigger profit on those remaining contracts. If the market does move higher, I'll probably just have to, get out right around break even at what I paid, hopefully. But the trade will, all in all, be a winner if I can get out on the rest of these contracts, right around what I paid for the rest of them. But I expect a little bit more follow through to the downside on the QQQ. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we end up coming down here to this 8-period exponential moving average. Now, these options expire on Friday, so it's got to come down rather quickly. If we have one more big up day, then these options are probably going to be just about worthless, so I'm going to have to watch them closely tomorrow. But that was my trading activity for the day. If you guys know of any decent looking stocks that are setting up, make sure you leave them down there for me in the comment section, because I check out every single one that you guys leave, and I appreciate it when you guys do that. I guess I'm going to end the video right there. Thank you so much for watching it all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.